Emily, please take it on. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I can see Mr. Mundene, you are saying something. Sorry. Hello,
Please,
Mr. Dennis.
proceed. Please proceed. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know. You can confirm to me if I'm clear so that I may not be getting me. Am I clear enough? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I want to take this opportunity to thank us all for creating time to be available for tonight's session. That's not tonight's, this evening session that I am looking forward to. Yes, it's just that from Kenya, it's already evening. Yeah, so the greeting here is good evening, but whatever time it is from each and every one of us, I want to thank you all for creating time for today's and for joining us in today's discussion that we are having, which is the future is now, and we are looking at youth at the heart of Africa's development agenda. Just to mention, but a few of us that have just joined in, I can see Mr. Dennis, I can see Mr. James is on board. Thank you so much. I can see Mr. Osmond who has just joined us. Thank you for creating time and agreeing to be part of this course. So my name is Emily Anyango. I am your co-host for today's episode, together with Mr. Osmond, whom I will also give an opportunity to introduce himself. And we are so excited to this evening. If I'm using this evening, bear in mind that I am from Kenya, so currently it's evening. Yeah, I know the time difference, it's a little, but yes, from my end it's evening. So this evening we're excited to explore how youth inclusion is shaping Africa's development and to amplify the voice of the young African leader through a meaningful dialogue. And so with that in mind, I don't know if I can see Mr. James is on board. I don't know if we'll be waiting for a few more other speakers, and if we have to wait, I'll ask us to bear with us so that now we can go ahead with the session. But even as we're waiting for the rest to join us, I could invite Mr. Osmond, who is my co-host, to at least greet us and introduce himself as well. Mr. Osmond, you can take the floor.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you're joining us. Just to confirm that I am clear, please. Emily, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much, gentlemen. And thank you, special guest. I can see we have James Adongo and we have a couple of participants here. I don't know if all the participants here present, but while we anticipate others to join, I want to take this moment to say thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Uduak Obong Osmond, and I am beyond thrilled to show up today as the host, and of course my beautiful co-host has already laid the foundation for what we'll be doing today, and a very special episode of Echoes of Africanism, and we'll be walking you through the topic shaping Africa's present and future. And of course, we all know that the future is now, and of course, the youths are the heart of Africa's development agenda. So right about now, I do not know if we have all our speakers. Emily, can you confirm, do we have all our speakers here present with us?
Okay. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I think I can.
I just wanted to confirm if it's on my end that I can hear you guys, but it's on a very low tone. I don't know. Maybe somebody could help me if there's something I need to adjust, because I can hear each and every one of us, but at a very low. I'm trying to see if there is something I've not adjusted on my end. Mr. Osman,
Okay,
can you
so
get me clearly on your end?
I can hear you clearly. I do not know if
Okay.
you can hear me clearly.
Okay. I'm still struggling to hear each and every speaker. I thought it was one person, but now from you, I've confirmed that I am getting you guys, but on a very, okay, thank you. No, but let me try and see what I can adjust on my end so that I get to hear all of you loud and clear.
Okay, so while you're getting that done, I'd like to go ahead with the permission of our coordinators. Mr. Norbert Sixbert, welcome. So I just want to get a confirmation from you if all our speakers are available so we can go straight to address the questions we have for today's episode of the Africanism. Mr. Norbert? Hello, Mr. Norbert, can you hear me?
Hello, how is everyone? Yes, I can hear you. I think I'm in a place which are very noisy, so maybe we can proceed with the one who we have today, and I'll try my best to figure out the others who are not to join us right now. Then I know what is going on.
Okay, so I want to be sure I have my co-host with me before we delve into the issues on ground. So why don't we just few minutes and the next 5 minutes we would begin this podcast proper. So ladies and gentlemen, why not get your notepad and buckle up as we'll take you through this wonderful episodes of Echoes of Africanism. So we'll start in 5 minutes while we anticipate all the speakers to come in. And of course, we'll start with the one we have. I believe I can see one of the speakers already. So in 5 minutes, we'll begin this journey proper. Miss Emily, just go ahead and settle down and get your network stronger. So we
I am
can
okay
get
now.
this.
I can hear you guys clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll start in 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just thinking of maybe an icebreaker, if it's allowed, for maybe to hear our views and what are some of the expectations, especially from the members that are not speakers, on probably what comes to their mind regarding the theme that we are having, regarding the agenda and the topic. Mr. Osmond, if that would be okay with you and every one of us on board, even as we're waiting for others to join, probably we will be sharing our ideas on what comes to mind in regards to the topic and the theme that we have. All right.
Yes,
that in order?
it's a wonderful. That's a very beautiful idea, and we were going to get that started. Just maybe while we're anticipating the others to join, more of our audience, I would align myself with your words, hook, line, and sinker, that we get to get this icebreaker broken indeed. So why don't we just give the floor to the members of the audience to at least let us know their expectations from today's episode. Seeing that this is something that resonates with every African. I mean, I'm Nigerian and Miss Emily Kenyan, and I know that we have people joining us from different countries, which make up the entire African continent in a way. So at this very juncture, without much ado, would hand over the microphone and give the floor to members of the audience to say a thing or two with regards to our podcast today. So, Emily, what do you suggest we do? Call individually or?
Okay. I think I wanted us to buy some time, but if you're having all our speakers on board already, then we could just go ahead with today's discussion and the topic.
I think it's still necessary we get to hear from our audience to be sure that our objective for the podcast will eventually meet their expectations.
All right. Okay. All right. With your permission, sir, I will allow the floor to our audience to share what they have in mind concerning the topic that we have today. And one person I'd really love to hear from, because he's so much of a Pan-Africanist, that is Mr. Munene, who will open for us. I'll volunteer him to open for us the floor with what are his views concerning the theme. Like when he read our today's discussion, what came to his mind, what are his thoughts concerning the theme, even as you're waiting to hear from our speakers. So Mr. Munene, you can unmute, you can introduce yourself and let us know what comes to mind when you hear our topic of discussion today. Or any volunteer. Okay. Mr. Osmond, I'll take the floor back to you.
Yeah, I would take that, but it's really relevant as part of our structure for today's episode. We really have to find a way to understand why we're here and of course why the organization brought out this theme and why it matters now. So if we are going to look at a brief overview, we should be able to understand or we should be able to hear from our audience. So just maybe I saw a particular mic unmuted. I do not know if you had intentions to speak or you have intention to speak. Mr. Mark Wageta, if I'm not wrong, would you like to say something as to your expectations to podcast today? Why does it matter now?
So
Mr.
thank you
Mark,
very much. Yes. What I'd like to say is thank you very much. By the way, I'm very new here. My name is Mark Ogeta. I'm from Kenya, and Dennis Monene is my friend, and he decided to help me join this group, and I am so happy to be here. And thank you for holding this meeting. My expectations are very high. I've said that I'm very new here, and I'm looking up to very big ideas, and I'm looking up that we will discuss issues affecting us as Africans and how we can solve them, more so politically. And we as the young people are the solution. So I'm looking for bold ideas in terms of political, economical, and social things. And I hope we will discuss them and find a way on how we can impact Africa, because we are in Africa and Africa is our business. So thank you very much and God bless you. Thank you.
All right. Amazing. That's so beautiful to hear from you, Mark. Yeah, I love the last statement that you say, like, we are Africans and Africans is our business. And actually, from what you have said, what comes to mind in me concerning this topic, I got to think of it like right now, I'm looking at what is happening across different countries. our country, Kenya. Personally, I'm Kenyan, and I know we have been trending in most of the, we have been at the forefront in most of our news concerning governance, concerning politics, concerning the youth, and not only in Kenya. We see this. We saw this in South Africa. We saw this in Mozambique. We saw this in Nigeria. We saw it like there is a certain kind of something that I would kind of say the Gen Zs and the new revolution and the mindset that the youth are having right now concerning what's affecting them, especially politically. And personally, I say I'd love it because it kind of comes with a certain awakening. It shows that the youths are aware. It shows that the youths are very conscious of what is happening in the environment politically, and that is a good place to see. Like the young generation is actually aware of it. So that is normally the first step. So when I saw like the topic today, youth at the heart of Africa's development, I was like so excited because now it indicates that with what the young generation are doing now, it's an indicator like they are aware, which means now they are kind of in a position to be involved in most important decisions concerning the continent, concerning their different countries. And so as they're discussing their different, as they're being engaged in what in their different spaces, maybe different countries politically, it means that soon we are able to come together because you can see what they're trying to portray in the different aspects. It's one voice, one voice towards a united front of Africa, one voice towards creating solutions to the challenges that have actually been affecting our continent for a long time. So that is what came to my mind, and I think it's a critical time and a critical season where now the long awaited the long past times where the youth are being sidelined pertaining issues affecting them is long gone, and now it's a waiting time where the youth needs to be involved in things that are actually affecting them, so that people get to hear their point of view, how they're seeing things should be done, because they're actually the now and the future generation. So from my end, that is what came in my mind and my brief overview concerning the topic of today. And I can't wait to hear more from what our speakers have for us today. And with this view from my end, I will take the bike back to you, Mr. Osmond.
Miss Emily, you're really ready for this. I can see that beyond just being a co-host, and there's so much you have in store for our audience. So I'm sure that the speakers we have on ground will add weight, and of course we'll increase our knowledge on this topic. So just like you've said, this conversation really matters now. I have seen the Africa going out from where they were to where we are, and the truth is that youths are now at the center of these things, and then we are working extremely hard to see how we can be at the center, at the forefront of this transformation. So right about now, before we move to the next item, we would like one other person to say something, just so we can secure the fact that second addendum on the agenda has been clearly struck out and, of course, made a meaning to our audience. So is there any other person who has a thing or two to say just before we introduce our speakers for today's podcast? Just anybody? The truth is that discussions like this is really crucial, because youth inclusion is just not something that we say in our head, but when we gather like this and we are able to share ideas and give inputs as to what is happening in our various regions, locations, it allows us to align our thoughts and, of course, see how we can impact our society first locally, and then, of course, we can take it to the global stage. And I believe that's why this conversation matters now. Ms. Emily, do you think we can just go ahead to our next agenda and introduce our speakers briefly, and then allow them say a thing or two about themselves, and then we can just dive into the conversation for the day. So, Ms. Emily, how about you go ahead to introduce our first speaker, and then I'll take the second, and then you take the third, and then we can proceed from there.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity to introduce our speakers today, and just be sure that I am not locking anyone outside. I'll be generous enough to share 30 seconds to anybody, anyone, but it's clear, that probably we are all looking forward to the session that we have today, and that is, I'll repeat, the future is now, youth at the heart of Africa's development agenda. And with us, we are so honored to have our three speakers, and I'll go ahead and introduce the first one and hand it over to you, Mr. Esmond, to introduce for us the remaining two. Or with your permission, I could probably introduce all of them, and then you can go ahead and we can go ahead and begin the session. So with us today are our three speakers. So the first one, we have Madam Karen Kiwale. She's a medical personnel director and founder of Mambo VP Initiative and a diplomat. Our second speaker is Mr. James Anibila Adongo. He's a research assistant at Greenlead, if I got that well, Real Estate Agency and Council. And finally, our third speaker is Madam Beauty Zulu. She's a climate change activist, mental health advocate, peer educator, human rights and child advocate, and a child advocate. And from the profiles of our speakers today, we can clearly tell there is much to expect from each one of them, and we can't wait. Personally, I'm so excited to hear from them concerning the topic that we have, because first, not because I'm co-hosting the session, but because I'm also a young Gen Z, really really passionate about governance. And so topics like this really excites my heart, and I'm so expectant. Hopefully each and every one of us are following all our audience following us live. I feel so much welcomed and expectant from our three speakers, and I'll hand over to you, Mr. Osmond.
Yes, I'm really grateful you had to take that initiative. Thank you so very much, Ms. Emily. And just so we can, spice up before we delve into the order of the day, the matter of the day, the fact and issue for discussion, would like to welcome, like you've already welcomed, and would like to hear briefly about our first speaker, Ms. Karen Kiwale. I know you are a medical personnel, and of course, the director and founder of Mambo VP Initiative, and a diplomat. Just like you have said, Ms. Emily, you've pointed out the fact that you're not just coming here because you are a co-host. I'm also excited because of the profiles I have seen of our speakers. I'm sure it's going to be thrilling enough. It's going to be very revealing to have people from different walks of life, different ramifications, shed lights on this issue of this talk show, Echoes of Africanism. I mean, these are people who have worked different ramifications. I can see that Mr. James is a research assistant at Greenland. And of course, I know people who go into real estate are mostly salespeople, and salespeople see things differently. Same goes for Ms. Beauty Zulu, who is a climate change activist. So with all of these people, power packed, I want to call them power packed. I'm sure that there's something in it for us in the next few minutes or 1 hour that we'll be on this call today. So right about now, I would like to give the microphone to Ms. Karen Kiwale and to share briefly about herself as to her passion and what drove her into the medicals, where she is currently a diplomat and of course the director and founder of Mambo VP Initiative, which will give us insight as to what to expect. With the permission of my co-host, Emily, I would like to hand over the microphone to Ms. Karen Kiwale. Ms. Karen Kiwale, you are up.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Kiwale, and thank you, Dennis Munene, Emily Anyango, and also Noba Sisbet for welcoming me and giving me this opportunity to be a speaker. And I am very, very happy and honored to be here for this podcast. I believe is going to inspire and help generations and generations of youth. And we believe that all the insights that we're going to learn, we'll learn and share here together. We are going to apply them in our areas of field, and yes, so that we can inspire a lot of other people as well to join the institution and have initiatives on making the future's youth. So as they have introduced me, I am a medical personnel. I am taking degree in medicine here at Kampala International University in Tanzania. But then I am also a founder and a director of Mambo VP Initiative. It is an initiative of mental health that deals with mental health awareness. And the good thing about this initiative, we actually our audience targets are youth for 15 to 35 years of age. And so we are dealing with mental health awareness to this to youth. And the most uniqueness thing about the initiative is that as well as we want when youth get knowledge and learn on mental health and get mental health awareness, they should get also entertainment as well. So the only uniqueness of this organization is that we have Sana Akili Face or Sana Akili department where we work with artists, musicians, dancers, and also poets. But then also I'm a diplomat, and I actually love diplomat at heart. And I've been a member of the United of Youth of the United Nations, and this is actually the third year. But also I actually love leadership at core, and I really believe on the impact of leadership and much more in leadership. I have been a leader for almost 4 years. I've been working with various organizations like the Youth Powerhouse and the Vivian Joseph, What's to Africa, the Africans, TAMSA, Tanzania Association of Medical Students as well. So yes, that's all about me.
Okay, thank you so very much, Miss Karin Kiwale. You are indeed an amazing person. I had to listen to you keenly to hear what it is you or who you are exactly, and then of course the things you've done in the last couple of years. And it thrills me to hear that you have been a leader for about 4 years and mentioned different organizations. And of course, experience is always shape our perspective towards life. And that's why we even have you on this podcast. And I am grateful that you chose to show up and of course enlighten us on the topic that we have for discussion today. So once again, welcome, Ms. Karin Kiwale. So just about now, we would move to the next speaker for his brief bio and of course what it is for him to be here. For him to be here, I'm sure that there is a lot of value in store for us, and that's why we need to just hear his biography, his profile, and that will be no other person than Mr. James. Are you here?
Hello?
Mr. James, go. Please, the microphone
Yes.
is yours. Okay, thank God. Mr. James Adogo, welcome to the conversation. Please just
Thank you very
enlighten us
much.
on.
Okay, good afternoon from this side. Ghana, we are in the afternoon, so good afternoon from here. As you already mentioned, I'm James Anibila Adongo. I had my bachelor's degree in land economy from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana, last year. So currently in Ghana, after your tertiary education, you have 1 year compulsory service. Here we call it national service. You have to offer back to the country as a way of appreciation or something like that. So I'm currently undertaking my national service at the Real Estate Agency Council. Yeah, I overheard you saying most of the real estate people we know are into sales, but no, I'm not into sales. So the Real Estate Agency Council is a government institution which is in charge of regulating the real estate sector in Ghana. Ghana's real estate sector wasn't previously regulated, and so we're having a lot of issues, especially with regard to money laundering and customer client relationship, problems with customer and client. Yeah, so this there was a law that was passed in 2020 to regulate the system, license brokers, agents, and all other real estate practitioners in the real estate field to have a smooth system. And so we are, should I say, where I'm having my service, we are serving as a regulator, and we are in charge of making the law implemented. And so with my role at Greenleaf, I have, even though my background is in land economy, which in a way also relates to real estate, but land documentation, land planning, and other stuff going hand in hand with real estate. So for my bachelor's, my tertiary level, I've always had the love, the passion for sustainable development story and sustainability. And so I joined various groups, Sustainable Green Future Club. I also joined the Sustainable Leadership Club, where I even serve as an executive. I also served as an executive with the Land Management and Development Student Association and the Ghana Institution of Surveyors Student Association. And so I've always had a passion to promote sustainability. And so seeing the Green Lead role or the advertisement for the Green Lead research assistantship role at Green Lead, I just said, no, let me take this opportunity and also contribute my quota, because sustainability in any other form is helping, keep the environment and sustain it for future generations. And so my role with Green Lead is actually a voluntary work, not something that I'm being paid for. Yes, I'm very excited to be here. I think that's the little about me. I'm very excited to be here. You see, Africa has been there for a long while. There have been initiatives, there have been policies, but we still see Africa not moving. Africa is just at the stage where it has been for a while now. And so I think this serves as an opportunity to also share what I think we all can come together and do and promote Africa or move Africa forward. I don't think when Africa is in a good shape, most of us will be going outside Africa to Europe and other places for greener pastures. Yeah. So I'm very glad to be here, and I hope to also hear a lot or learn more from my speakers and also you, the organizers, as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. James. Okay, sorry, I was muted. Thank you, Mr. James. I don't go for that brief. I am sure that with what I have heard so far, there will be so much to reveal to us with respect to regulations and of course people who are in this sector or people who are in this industry are people who are meticulous, and then meticulous people, in my opinion, will of course love the idea of sustainability and see how they can always contribute in one way or the other, which of course you've made mention of that in your brief introduction. So right about now, we would once again thank you very much for coming on the call. So right about now, we will go to the third speaker, and so Miss Beauty Zulu, I believe you're on the call. Do you just unmute? The floor is yours. Hello, a little about yourself, and then my co-host Miss Emily would take over from there to lead us into the statement of importance, and then we would dive into the questions proper. Over to you, Miss Beauty. Just to confirm, Miss Beauty, are you around? Are you on this call?
As she's yet to join, probably when okay, as we're waiting for her to join us on board, we could probably get started today's discussion now. Yeah, and I'm sure our audience, as we've clearly heard, they're expectant of what we have today from our speakers and getting to hear what our speakers getting to hear from our speakers. It's clear that we are ready and they are ready for us to concerning tonight the agenda that we have today. So I'll give permission to our speakers. Feel free to put your video on while engaging us. Yeah, it's not. Feel free to put on your videos so that we can get to see you if you're free to do so. So before I ask the first question that we have today, that I will be throwing to Madam Miss Amina. Miss Amina, sorry, not Miss Amina, sorry, Miss. Sorry. Hello.
I can hear you, Miss Emily.
I don't know if my net is blinking. Okay. Can you get me clearly? Hello. Okay. To our first question, from the topic that we're having, that is the youth at the heart of Africa's development. It's clear that youth are essential in shaping Africa's future. Their voices, their innovations, their leadership must be part of policy making and implementation. So having them at the center or at the heart of Africa's development. To you, Madam Karen, what does meaningful youth inclusion in Africa's development actually look like in your experience? Yeah, I heard you have it's been 4 years in leadership. Yeah, so from your experience, what does that look like? What does youth inclusion in Africa's development actually look like in your experience? Over to you, Madam Karen.
Okay, thank you, Emily. So from my experience, and especially through the funding and running the Mambo VP initiative, which focuses on youth and mental health, meaningful youth inclusion. It's not just about giving young people a seat at the table, because I've seen this as director and also as a leader in the initiative. So it's more about ensuring they have a real voice and real influence in shaping outcomes. So this is very fast. Like, youth are involved in early in the design phase of programs, not just invited as participants once decisions are made. So I'm gonna give you an example. If you happen to know Benjamin Fernandez, where I believe that he was intruded into the platform of technology and internet, but then he learned on how to come and craft something more good about Nala, which is the only way of sending a transaction from someone in America and Africa. So it's like more based in Africa and it's owned by an African. So also there are these experiences that youth, when they work together and get to know each other, they get. I have wide range of people who I work with, which have so much brilliant skills that have showcased in there, which are very, very potential. And some of them actually currently they're owning their own organizations. Also, leadership roles and ownership of innovation initiatives are handed over to young people with trust and mentorship. As well as on my organization, I'm speaking as according to my experience. We have been having a brief of mentorship sessions that have helped to equip the leaders within to learn and grow towards the visions. But then also I am a leader and I was also nurtured and mentored. So I was given this opportunity as well as when I used to work with other organization as a young leader, and also as I was given this by my mentor through mentorship, through trusting, through being given a platform where to show my leadership roles and my capabilities. So this have made me to become who I am today, and the director and the founder of the Mambo Vipi initiative. So there are a lot of platforms that help and nurture youth. As for I started working and volunteering at an organization called Kaya Foundation, which deals with children who have spinal bifid hydrocephalus. This is like a disorder which they are born with, in which their heads just are filled with water. So it's called spinal bifid hydrocephalus. So I used to volunteer in that organization, and when I started to volunteer, like other people were like accusing me of wasting my transport. But I believe volunteerism it's at heart for anyone who is seeking success. So yeah, so I started to volunteer at the organization. I learned and I was equipped with much more skills on how to handle initiative, on how to make a driven of a foundation and organization. And I started working with other more organizations just because of the experience I got from through the one organization, which there are a lot of these platforms around Africa. And I believe like in Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, as well as in Tanzania, we have a lot of these and a lot of organizations. So as a mental health advocate, addressing structural barriers, stigma, finding access to tokenism, and poor representation, I believe mental health as such a big way into youth life. For you cannot be a leader if your mental health isn't at work or isn't on good terms. So I believe that mental health has such a way in everyone, not only leaders but in everyone, on shaping their self, but also the goals of other people, on helping, because leadership isn't only about us, it's all about serving the community and serving other people. So yes, I believe the meaningful youth inclusion in Africa's development should look like, in my experience, that's all. I think I'm done with the first question.
Mr. Osmo, did you there? Please proceed.
Can you hear me? Emily, are you still there?
Okay, sorry, we can't hear you.
Okay. I had to pay attention to Miss Karen, and as she shared her experience with respect to the first question, which was asked by my co-host, and I got to understand a few things, which of course maybe towards the conclusion would be giving room for more questions, and then get some clarity with certain other things where we are not cleared about. So without further ado, thank you, Ms. Karin Kiwale, for that, for taking us through the journey of your leadership and volunteering that has allowed you, that has made you who you are. I have a few reservations, more like questions that I would ask maybe after now. So we'll just move to the next question. So we have, I do not know, Miss Beauty Zulu is still not on the call. So still back to you, Miss Karen Kiwale. Second question we have today, which you would have to, enlighten us on, is to how can youth move from being beneficiaries of development programs to becoming architects and leaders of Africa's future? Now, this question is even, for me, I see it is already tailored to your persona, seeing that you've been a leader in the last 4 years, occupying different positions, and no leader goes around calling himself or herself a leader without mentorship. And we've seen that throughout your experience, there have been this passion and of course this closeness with mentors. Whoever they are, I'm sure they inspire you to do greater things, and that is what has brought you this far in your level of exposure, and which is one of the reasons you are here with us today, and which is one of the reasons you are here with us today to speak to us and shed more light. So once again, I just want to know, we, the audience, we want to know, because I'm curious really, so I'm sure the audience too are. So how can youth move from being beneficiaries of development? Because personally, I want to just quickly put it there that we have a system in Africa. I know clearly, I can speak from experience over here in Nigeria, that we have group of youths, especially when it is about our election period, our election season. We have certain youths who believe that the politicians are supposed to do certain things for them at all times. And so they try to exploit or get more from politicians during election season, and with the promise of maybe delivering them, making their votes, or bringing more voters to them. And once these things are done to them, more often than not, there is no development in that sphere. So everybody believes that something is supposed to be done for them, and then the politicians owe them the responsibility. And that brings about stunted growth, in my opinion, because what they are even asking for is nothing more than what will satisfy their stomach at the very moment. But what we are looking out for is Africa beyond the present. And so this question is very unique, and I would like you to, give us response with respect to who you are and things you've seen so far in your region. How can youth move from being beneficiaries of development programs to becoming architects and leaders of Africa's future? Please, the mic is yours, Ms. Karin.
Well, thank you so much for the wonderful question. It's actually a more technical. So I'm gonna answer this according to my experience and according to where I come from here in Tanzania. But I believe that all we Africans, so they're just like the mutual things that we pass through from here in Tanzania as well to Nigeria, Ghana, and Uganda. So this is one of the things that I was mentored about. I think we use we need to shift from being beneficiaries to be actually the architects and leaders that Africa is depending on. Is through the first thing is mindset shifting. So it takes someone to be mentored, to be taught to move or shift from a receiver mentality to a creator mentality. So I believe that there are numbers of a lot of youth who are very, very skilled and creative and talented, but it is just that they do not get someone who could mentor them, who could help them to find their self-worth, to find their purpose in their existence. One of the most famous person once said, "The most tragic thing about life isn't death; it's life without a purpose." So we can see that there are a lot of creative things or creative people who we have seen, but it's just that they don't know what's their purpose, what's their ambitions, what are things that they can do. So when you get mindset shifting, from being given something, being beneficial to something, becoming a real leader, it takes it's the whole stage for someone to accept to become someone else and start leading. It all starts in the mind. This is the very core reason that I actually said I am very, very interested, and I believe that mental health is something that is very, very crucial to every youth, to every person, to every being here on earth, it's more spiritual, it's more personal, it's more building. So when someone wants to become someone else, you have to actually decide it on your mind. So that's why we need a mindset shift to become somebody else, to become a big and successful person. When you decide it on your minds, I believe there are going to become a lot of thoughts like that I have accepted all the risks that I'm gonna take. This is why, because I accepted when I did a mindset shift from becoming a receiver to a creator mentality. I accepted to lose friends, to lose people, to change the peer group I was having, to change from the fun group people. You know, when you're a teenager, you love to have fun, and this is actually like normal, and yeah, we don't actually um avoid it, but it has to be with limits. So there are people that I started to stop being friends with. There are places that I stopped to go, and there are people that I started to have to be friends with. There are places that I started to go, and there are places that have cost me much more than I even thought. When someone told me that you should do this, so I not expect that I'll use this kind of money, but then I said I want to do this. So when the mind agrees on saying that I want to do this, doesn't matter how the cost is gonna be, you're just gonna do that. And that's the reason that I volunteered regardless of nothing that I was getting at the moment. But I believe volunteerism is that's as an investment. So when you grow into a receiver mentality, from a receiver mentality to a creator mentality, and get people to mentor you, this is when you come to realize this thing. One of my mentors once told me, Karen, relationship is not about just a relationship. Relationship is more about the investment. The people you make friends with, those are your investments. So at the very first end, I not understand all that, but then right now I come to realize that those all things that I was taught, they're very crucial. That there are things that I'm actually applying that are actually helping me out on me being as a director, working with various places, connecting and networking with new people. So I'm actually going to, I believe that there are a lot of innovations, there are a lot of events that are being held in various places. So it takes someone who is mindset shifted, who is equipped, who knows who he wants, who is more strategic. That this event I'm going to go and I'm going to meet this one person, and this one person I know he's going to help me here, he's going to change me here. And this is event I'm not going to go because it's not based on something that I do. So when you have a mindset shift, you have a personal let me say personal evaluation or personal understanding of what exactly you want to do. And so you won't be going just anywhere, you'll be going with strategies. You won't be making anyone your friend, you'll be making friends with strategies. So being a creator mentality takes a lot of sacrifice, and this is the part where a lot of youth they think this is the hardest part. Actually, it's the hardest part, but it takes you to, when you accept it on mind, it doesn't matter whether it's the hardest part or not. So when I accepted, I volunteered, I went to places, I paid for my transport to those places, and a lot of people were very shocked. Why are you going there? They're not paying you. Why should I do something that's not paying me? But whenever they told me that, I was already picturing myself 3 years to come. Where am I gonna be? Where are they gonna be? So every time you do the mental shiftness, no matter what people are going to say, you know who you are, you know where you're going. So it doesn't matter what they're going to talk about, what they're going to tell you, what anything they're going to say to you, it doesn't matter. For you has seen yourself 3 years later becoming a mind-shifted person, you'll know who you are. You have visions of yourself where you want to be. And the visions will be very strategic to who you talk to who you don't talk to who you make friends with, to who you don't make friends with, to what you study, to what you don't study, to what you eat, to what you don't eat. So I think mindset shifters is one of the important things in core goals. But also structural change. I think this organization, and this is for me as well, and for the people who are in organization or leading, they should have a structural change on how to help people and to equip them with being leaders. So I am organization, we have every 3 mentorship, every after 3 month mentorship, where my leaders and my fellow partners get um to join the mentorship and learn on exactly on things to make them grow on personal goals and also corporate goals. So when we are working, I think organizations should consider each and every person. This is something that I never got when I was working with other organizations. I'm not trying to badmouth about them, but I'm trying to talk about the reality. So this is something that I'm trying to invest and start to my fellow youth, that it is very good when you're working with an organization, you have your personal goals and corporate goals. Corporate goals are going to help you to strengthen you and to do your work efficiently, and people to see that you're actually doing work into your volunteering and people are seeing your work. But personal goals are going to help you to equip yourself, to shape yourself, to move from where you are today to where you to another state. So because this game isn't about comparison of someone else, comparison about you and yesterday. So having personal goals are going to feature you and help you to move from one moment to another. When I started to volunteer, I had no communication skills and I had anxiety. But this is one of the reasons why I started a mental health initiative, and I was very interested in mental health. I was a mental health advocate before having a mental health initiative and having all these visions. So this helped me to know what exactly is that's going to help me out. So when I started to be a mental health advocate, I started to treat myself, to treat my inner self on how to deal with my anxiety. And I started to equip myself with leadership skills, talking skills, writing skills. In every organization that I worked, I was very strategic that this is the opportunity I want. This is what I'm going to apply. This is what I'm going to apply. This is why in my initiative, we have this mentorship that are going to that help people to raise their personal goals. It's not about moving to our initiative, going to another one, but it's about to build yourself within the initiative. So as all the members, as all the leaders grow, as well, we believe as all other people grow as well. So the initiatives play such a big role, but also networks and ecosystem. So this is one of the most things that I believe that shape and help youth. And this is what, when I started to go to these places, a lot of people were like, why are you going there? Why are you doing this? I gained a lot of experience from people I met there. And it's not, I network with people, not about work, but just becoming friends. But I gain a lot of opportunities. I gain a lot of people. And I believe that nobody's expert has known me from one of the people who have known me, maybe. So I believe networkship and connection has much more influence in this world, in this current world today. But also I got this grand opportunity from my friends that the friend that just networked with. I used to have this friend and he was like a stationary person, and this came to my mind that you should not actually look down to anyone. You don't know who is gonna raise you to become someone big. So I had this friend, and this was like a day that I went to him and I told him that I want to do something, but I'm not really sure what I want to do. He then asked me, what are you interested in? And I said, like, I'm interested in diplomacy. I'm interested in more about things of the youth of 19 nations and all this. And he told me that, and he told me that, do you mind being an internal affair or here Kampala at a university? And I was like, yes, I want to become one. And he connected me with that person who is a teacher, but he actually graduated in our university, so he's actually teaching here. And he told me that we are having this. It was actually external, yeah, external. We're having a program here where in every 6 months we bring students from other country, from like America, to here in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam here in our university, to learn and network and do cultural exchange. So it's like, this is something that I wanted, but that all came from network. That all came from going to places, meeting a lot of new people. So you might never know that there are places that you go, there is where your success point is. So you have to meet people, you have to connect, and just not connect with anyone, but be strategic to who you connect with. So this is very crucial on helping youth not be just staying beneficial and being the Africans future leaders in the present. This is what I actually tell everyone, that youth are not the future. We are the youth are not like the past. We are the present and we are the future. We are the people. We are still strong, that we can raise this nation, can raise Africa to a better place. And if we get all it means the wisdom, the experience we had, they're going to make us to get the wisdom that we need to be the future president, the future of people of the Africa, and we're going to take Africa in a better place. Something else is mental health. Appreciating that I'm a driven and a mental health advocate for almost 4 years now. So I believe mental health as such an important, crucial thing to everyone's life, as I said before. So you cannot be a leader if you don't have you cannot be a leader if you have mental health issues, if you have not embraced your mental health journey. So when I started to I was very envying other people who were able to speak public speaking and all this. And I then followed my mentor and I told him, would I be able to do this after 2 years? And he was like, everything starts with now. So it all starts with a step. So he started to tell me you have to accept who you are. You have to do this self-care techniques that are going to help you to deal with your anxiety. So I actually started to deal with my anxiety. So mental health isn't that big about how people think of it. Mental is something very small but very, very crucial. Within 0 minutes can change your position from where you are to where you should not be. We have seen a lot of people, a lot of billions of people who have got depression, who have got anxiety, who have got bipolar disorder, who have just committed suicide, who have been murdered. You see, so this is all something that is very small, but it has such a crucial impact in our community. So these self-care tips, I believe, for all the ones who are listening currently, they're going to help you and shape you to be a better person. So I said to appreciate myself. I was actually learning the ways to be a public speaker, the way to embrace my anxiety, but as well, I was appreciating myself with every step I took. So it has a win. A win is a win. Doesn't matter which win is it. Doesn't have to be the big win. Don't wait for the big wins. If you appreciate yourself for the small wins, then you are capable of appreciating yourself for big wins. So I started to appreciate yourself, like spoil yourself. Just don't spoiling yourself doesn't mean like buying an expensive meal, just going somewhere and buying like buying yourself like a good meal today. Like, oh, I'm so excited for being me today. I've just embraced my anxiety. So this is what I did to work on my anxiety. I was like going to a class and saying, hey guys, can I actually introduce myself? And I was like, yeah, sure, introduce yourself. So after then, I could go somewhere and say like, hey Karen, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of what you did today. So I believe that leaders should learn to have mental health into their core values, and also to embrace their mental health journey, which is very, very important to eradicate and reduce the suicidal rates and the death rates and the effects of getting into mental health illness. Since anxiety, depression isn't actually mental health illness, these are actually mental health this is actually just mental health problems. So yeah, that is also the last point is so this is something that I learned today, and this is it now. And the foundation of it all is mental well-being, because Africa's future leaders need to be not just capable, but also emotionally equipped to drive transformation. So you can see here that we should not only be capable, and this is why that we have been being getting all these cases that people are very capable. Why that man? He was very strong. He was very happy. I've never seen him sad. I've never seen him not talking to anyone. Why did he kill himself? It's all questions. This all questions, come up. Then why did he kill himself? But generally inside, the person was utterly very broke, had no hope, had nowhere to be, but we were around that person. So leadership should learn and should be able to prioritize their mental health. So yeah, that is all according to my perspective. And so thank you so much for the wonderful questions.
Thank you so much, Madam Karen, for that insightful points that you've given to us, and what
No, are you still there? Okay, so can you hold hear me? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Osmond, please proceed and we abide time, please.
Okay, so I think Emily had a little disruption in network. So right about now, while we are going to skip question 3, considering the fact that one of our speakers, Miss Beauty Zulu, is unavailable. But before we move to the next question, I'd just like to say that this was a wonderful session with you. I am so happy that I had to, come up. I like the words of Beauty, who said that she's not just coming as a co-host, but to also learn. I've learned a lot about mindset shifting and mentorship and volunteering, and as far as making relationships, investments, and then also networking and connecting with like-minded people. Thank you so very much, Ms. Karen Kiwali. And then just to go to the next question, we have a question for you, Mr. James. So Mr. James, for the sake of for brevity of time, we'll just go to your question, and it's about the roles which you think what roles do you think should government play, or should institutions and the diaspora play to better support youth-led initiatives and solutions. So I'm sure with your wide range of experience in the real estate field and the other executive positions you've manned over the years, I'm sure that this question resonates so well. So what role should government, institutions, and the diaspora play to better support youth-led initiatives and solutions? Mr. James Adongo, you are on the call. The mic is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, kindly permit me to share my screen. I think it's not turned on. If you can turn it on.
I didn't get your last words. What did you say, Mr.
Yeah.
James?
I wanted to share my screen, but the feedback I'm getting is that sharing is not turned on. I don't know if it has anything to do with me, or it has to be from any of you.
Okay,
All right,
James,
Mr.
a host, please, you can proceed.
Okay, all right. A moment.
And please, we don't have much time left. We can go just to about 10 more minutes, and then we should be able to be done.
I'm going to. Can you see my screen? Hello?
yes, we can, Mr. James.
Okay.
Your skin
Okay.
is
Yeah,
is
so
clear. Yeah.
as there's no time, let me just quickly move on to. So I have combined, I was actually given 2 questions, so I have tried to combine the 2 questions. So you'll be seeing them breaking down into various subtopics. So with my introduction, I says youth and Africans future. So when we go down, you see that I'm saying Africa, or we all know that Africa is a central continent, which is ongoing development, and creating long-term plus parity relies on unlocking the potential of young people and placing their creativity, leadership, and innovative at the heart of policies and development initiatives. The key is not merely providing aid, but intentionally building an empowering ecosystem that enables youth to drive solutions, contribute meaningfully, and participate fully in shaping Africans' future. So I'll move on to the breakdown. So let me quickly talk about how government can contribute to these development or these changes that we are expecting. So first of all, the government can do so by introducing youth-friendly policies. And if I talk about youth-friendly policies, I mean introducing policies that support youth entrepreneurship, that will streamline regulations, offer tax incentives, and ensure legal protection for young innovators. I did a research and I realized that in Rwanda, government has fostered an innovative or innovation hubs like K-Lab, which simplifies business processing and also provide access to mentorship. And so this is like a platform to help the young or the youth easily get access to entrepreneurship and also mentorship that will help provide not, let me say, that will not only develop them, but help them to also impact on the life of others. Now, the second one is saying targeted funding. So beyond grants, government should also make loans and seed funding, venture capitals easier for youth-led businesses to access. If I talk about, I think we are all aware of loans, but if I talk about seed funding, I mean some form of capital that is needed to set up a business, to set up an entrepreneurship, to set up something which is going to be beneficial to the whole public or to the whole of Africa. And if I talk about venture capital, the business, the leadership role or group, or whatsoever it may be, is already in the system, but you are providing capital support for it to, move forward or foster more or prosper more for it to get more branches and reach more people. Yeah. And we often do partnership with we often get these partnerships via financial institutions, and the government, when it steps in, it can do more, can persuade more financial institutions and convince them to help in that aspect. Now, South Africa, I think, has already started acting towards it, and it has a program named NYDA. It's a practical model that is offering transparent grants and business development services to especially younger entrepreneurs. And the third one is infrastructure and voice. Now, investments in internet access, innovative hub, digital programs are crucial, especially on deserved regions. And we can all testify to the fact that Africa, as compared to the other continents, and we are very, very, very vulnerable when it comes to technology, when it comes to internet access. And so this must be the one of the targets for every government or various governments in the various African countries. Now, in Ghana, we have the National Youth Authority, which promotes youth inclusion in decision making and ensures their perspectives help direct national strategies. Now, you can see that under each of the points, I have an example which is already being practiced. That means Africa already have some kind of idea towards those directions. But what is the problem? What is happening that the situation is not changing? I think we should look more on the ground, like look more into the policies. Have we just created these organizations or initiatives just to leave them hanging? Are we doing something to support them? Or we just created them for people to know, for the Europeans to know that we have done something. Let's give them money. We have done something. I think that is what we, the youth, should push the government to do. It's not just about creating the facilities needed, but what is needed to make the facilities function. What is needed to push these facilities progress and to develop Africa must be done. And so we, the youth, must put in that and help and make the government accountable. Now, to the next one, I'll talk about the institutions and so how they can participate in mentorship and network and research. And if I talk about institutions, I mean NGOs, academia, and the private sector. And so these institutions can help in capacity building and mentorship. And so with structured and skill building programs, which are crucial to youth success. So we have various capacity building skills, graphic designing, soap making, a lot, and other leadership skills, other needed skills for our everyday life that is needed to develop. Now, foundations and NGOs like Tony Elumini Foundation is a big foundation in Africa across various countries, not all countries, but then various countries in Africa, which equip young entrepreneurs with training and expert guidance and seed funding, and also fostering a knowledge-rich culture across Africa. As you can see that this foundation in particular is pushing for this capacity building and mentorship. And so we must, we the youth, especially those of us in leadership roles, must push for these to be many in the continent. And so that is it for the capacity building. Now, I would want to talk about expanding our networks and also market access. So institutions can also help access new markets, investors, and also partners. So initiatives like Afri-Labs and university partnership connect youth to growth opportunities, while academic institutions provide data and research to inform impactful youth programs, as seen with the AERC. And so this point basically is talking about we taking initiatives which would expand our network. You know, Africa is somehow like a baby which is crawling. Meanwhile, we have other continents who are already working. And so when we expand our networks, study their market access, though not entirely copying everything from them, but then there are some things that we can learn from them or we can copy from them and apply in Africa, add our own means, add our own ways to it, and also develop it in an African way, not necessarily copying everything out of it. So the next slide, that is the diaspora and bridge, how we can bridge and also how they can bridge, sorry, and also empower. So how, let me ask this rhetorical question: how can they support the youth from afar? Let's look at this point. So this diaspora, we all know diaspora are like citizens of African countries who are not staying in their country. And so let me say I'm from Ghana. They gave birth to me in the USA and I'm staying there. Yeah, I see myself as a Ghanaian, but then I'm not in Ghana. So these are the people we tag as the diaspora. So they can help in skill and knowledge transfer. So the explanation says that the diaspora is a valuable source of expertise and global perspective. By organizing virtual masterclass workshops, diaspora members can provide mentorship and training and train young Africans in advanced skills and global best practices. Since these diaspora stay with the Europeans, they mostly are equipped with their ways, their training, their mentorship, and they become more ascertained or more, should I say, they stick more to their ways of life. I mean, the good aspects which can help in development. And so these people can help by organizing maybe platforms where the rich or the African or the youth from Africa can also tap into those knowledge that they have. Yeah. Now, they can also help in advertisement and advocacy. So let me put this context, and let me put this in this context. Um, I am here in Ghana, and so let me say if you want to organize a program in Ghana, and I go to the presidency, or I go to any big organization here seeking for help, seeking for the opportunity for them to invest in us, um, I think it will be easy for them to believe me, to trust me, than getting someone who stays outside Ghana, who comes from outside Ghana, to come and lobby for that. And so what this point is basically saying is that these people can invest in can impact in investment, philanthropic capital, support youth-led ventures, and they can also act as advocates for African youth at the global stage, influencing international funding policies and elevating African position in global networks. And so since they are there, they are more closer to the people. If they can dedicate themselves that they want to lobby for Africa, they want to help Africa develop, they want to help the youth, it will be more easy for Africa than we having our leaders from here going there to seek for funding. In that way, they rather see us as vulnerable people. Yes, we might tag Africa as vulnerable in a way, but then going there to beg for money, tax us, or even makes us more vulnerable. And so these people who are there, they lobby for that, they do that, promote Africa over there. I think we can help improve Africa, and also bring more investment to the continent, and also give more room for improvement. Now, let's talk about the long-term impact. Empowering youth is not enough, and their leadership must deliver sustainable, long-lasting change. And so this requires a deliberate focus on adaptability, collaboration, and solutions that create scalable impact. Through continuous learning, network building, problem solving, active policy engagement, and international sustainability, young Africans can transform their societies and contribute sustainably to the continent's goods. So the next slide, I think I'll talk more about this. Okay, so yeah, so here we talk about the youth adaptability. And so under it, how can we build resilience for change? So one of the points is that we should engage in continuous skill learning or development. Most of the times, or let me say from my experience, after school or after a training, when we graduate, we think, oh, we are okay. There's no need for more learning. And so we think what we acquired is enough, but we tend to forget that the world every day is moving ahead. Every day new things come in, new things, old things go out. And so we must stick to the continuous learning. Okay. When we are proactive to acquire new skills in areas like digital literacy, critical thinking, and problem solving, it can in a way contribute to solving our problems in Africa. So currently we have ALX Africa, which is providing a lot of digital courses, virtual assistantship, AI essential, and other courses which is currently needed all over the world to help promote development. Also, we must embrace failure and curiosity. And so resilience means learning from setbacks and being open to new ideas. Let's not forget that since we are working towards a sustainable Africa or a developed Africa, we wouldn't meet setbacks. Setbacks are part of the processes. And so when we meet setbacks, we have to examine our processes, our initiatives, redevelop them, and go back again. We shouldn't let a setback just sit us down. We must continue with it. And also, we must be curious. Yes, if you see something which is related to development, related to Africa's growth, you don't understand, find your way. Ask. Never be afraid to ask. Okay? Find a way, get more knowledge about it. Who knows? It can help you in your role that you play to help develop Africa. Okay, so in the next slide, we talk about youth strategies, that is networking and collaboration. So we want to create a lasting partnership. And how can we do this? So we have to cross generational mentor. We have to engage with cross-generational mentorship. So let's say we are in the same institution or the same group, or we are in Africa. If you don't have an idea in something, you know someone who has an upper hand, we shouldn't be afraid to seek. Most of the times, I think we tend to think that if I seek advices from these kind of people, they will tend to laugh back at me that I don't know anything or something. We must not have that mindset. No matter how old, how small the person is, if the person has an experience more than seek mentorship. And also initiative in I think South Africa, initiatives like Mandela Institute for Development Studies promote dialogue between generations, supporting youth as they learn from seasoned leaders. So it gives a platform for them to learn from those who have held leadership roles before and also learn from their experiences. This is what we must promote in Africa. The next point talks about collaboration and digital leverage. So young leaders should also focus on the collaboration rather than competition, forming alliances and also sharing resources to address systematic challenges. Leveraging digital platforms is essential for building network and also accessing global opportunities. And so we must learn more to collaborate. Most of the times, we have the idea to do something, but looking at our capacity, we can't do it all alone. Never be afraid to collaborate. I think sometimes you tend to collaborate, and even the help or the person you collaborate with tend to do all the work for you. And so yours might even be to only bring out ideas and it will be implemented. Also, when you look at the digital platforms now, our social media and other stuff, we tend to use them anyhow, anyway. But then what I have realized from my experience from LinkedIn is that when you use your your digital platforms well, you get good opportunities. You get to link up with people with experience in development who can help you in whichever way you want to go, whichever contribution you want to make towards Africa. So we must take a second look at what we use that social media handles for, our Facebook, our Instagram, and especially our LinkedIn. The next slide, we'll talk about the youth strategy, that's the solution and advocacy. And so how can we drive sustainable impact? So we must focus on solutions and under it, youth leaders should assess root causes, develop community relevant innovations with scalable potential, and also measure their impact using clear metrics. And this approach demonstrates tangible value and strengthens funding appeals. And so we must not just focus on the problem. Yes, the problem is always there, but what should we focus on? The solution. So we should focus on the solution, address the root causes. Don't just take the problem from the middle part or the upper part and just assume you are addressing it. It will definitely come back. We must address the problem from the root causes. So if you are saying there is overcrowding or slum developing in an African community, what is the solution? The solution isn't to pull down houses or to collapse houses to make way. No, you must go down to the people, know why that place has developed into a slum, and if there is any help that you can give for them to relocate, you do that before even doing away with their houses. You can't just go do away with their houses and you expect them to sleep on the road. They will definitely come back. So we must tackle root causes, also develop community relevant innovations with scalable potential. So whatever we are developing, we must make sure that at the end of our development or our initiative, we can measure it, assess it, and know whatever we put in, whatever we did is valuable to the continent or to the country or not? Is there something we must change about it in the next implementation? Must we do away with it? Must we continue with it? You must consider all these. And I think if you consider all these stuff, it makes it easy to attain funding in such initiatives. Also, we must engage in policy, embrace policy engagement and sustainability. And so understanding policy landscape and participating in advocacy simplifies youth voices. Sustainable initiatives require strong teams, diverse funding, and also transparent documentation of both successes and lessons learned. So we must understand certain policies in our various continents. You can't just go in and start with something, but then you don't know the policies in your country, the laws which govern your country. That will always make us a failure. So you must be abreast with the laws in our country. As you, from my experience, what I know is that we mostly tend to act ignorantly. We take certain steps without confronting, the authority, getting to know the background, what is expected of us before taking initiatives. So we must consider all those steps before taking initiatives, which is geared towards development of Africa. Now, the conclusion, youth are the epicenter of change. So African transformation lies in the hands of its young people by building supportive ecosystems, emphasizing ongoing education, fostering meaningful partnership, prioritizing sustainability in their actions. Youth leaders will shape African destiny. With the right support from governments, institutions, the diaspora, the next generation can catalyze inclusive, enduring development, ensuring Africa's future truly begins now. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your time. And if there's any question, I'll be there to answer. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so very much, Mr. James Adongo. I had to get although at some point your voice was low, but I got very strategic points to note, and that has of course enhanced and of course gone further to affect the other speakers' words, which has added up to my knowledge. And of course, I'm sure that other participants here have gained substantial knowledge from what you've said, from the fact that we have to check what we use our social media platforms for, and going as far as utilizing digital platforms, collaborations, and of course, confronting government as to the regulations. I noticed that you are a man of documentations and regulations with the real estate industry in your country, and I see how you are letting us know from your experience and from your background how important regulations are in the lives of youths. So at this juncture, I want to say a very big thank you to you, Speaker Mr. James Adongo, and also our first speaker, Ms. Karin Kinwale. I enjoyed this session, but for brevity and then for time constraints, we would not be going further to ask any other question. But we could just take a few seconds to reflect on what you've said and to what both speakers have said, and then permit me to speak on behalf of Ms. Emily. I think it's network disruption in our area. And so I'll just from here ask a few questions with respect to other participants if they have a question or two. But before then, we would just say yes, that we have gotten key points. I believe that other participants have gotten key points that have been discussed by our two speakers, being Mr. James Adongo and Ms. Karin Kinwale. So I am really grateful that such powerful statements and epoch-making event as this was held, that statements like the ones you have said have impacted my life to a very large extent. So to this end, I will just give 30 to 60 seconds to anybody who has anything as what the speakers have said. How does that resonate with you? Has it reflected, or have you, as you have reflected on them, is there any concern or any matter that raises alarm to you that you would like us to address or elaborate before we go to our final words? So just 30 seconds, I'll leave the floor open for anybody to contribute or maybe bring up a question or just add a thing or two about it in 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it appears that we do not have any contributions, but I'm sure the words have sunk into us who have participated. I even had to take serious notes, and of course, reflections upon this will intrigue me, will increase my my hunger for sustainability when it has to do with youth participations and every other thing that we've discussed here. So with these few words of mine, I want to say thank you. These are my final words, and I speak with respect to myself and my co-hosts in absentia, that we've gotten to the end of this episode of our podcast today. And I'm so sure that our speakers, Karin, Kiwale, and James Adongo, they have blessed our lives. They have impacted our lives. And to while this theme focused on the future is now, youth at the heart of Africa's development, I'm sure that all that we have heard, from mindset shifting to collaborating to networks and relationships, volunteering, all of these things are things that we have heard from our speakers. And is there something you want to say? Mr. Mark Wagota, your mic is unmuted. If you don't mind, I would continue. So that's just it, and I'm sure that this episode has impacted and has left an indelible mark in our hearts moving forward. To this end, I want to say a very big thank you to the organizers, the Young African Leaders Forum, for this event that has brought together people from different countries: Tanzania, Ghana, Kenya, and Nigeria. And I'm sure that as we move forward, we will have more participations and we'll have increased membership and increased audience that will come to learn at the feet of very eloquent and seasoned speakers as we move forward to the next episode. So to this end, I encourage our audience and listeners, and of course, tell people about the impact YALF is creating in the life of youths, in the lives of youths in Africa, to aid sustainability and of course inclusion in youth participation in governance, in leadership, in politics, in entrepreneurship, and of course breaking glass ceilings and shattering barriers that have long been a norm in the African ecosystem as far as politics and leadership has been concerned in the previous years and decades. And so with these few words, I'd like to bring this episode to an end with the permission of our organizers. And thank you for having me today. I want to once again thank you, the organizers. Thank you, Miss Karin. Thank you, Mr. James, and then Miss Beauty in absentia. I'm sure that with time we would have you again in our show, where you would, of course, dish out premium value to our ever listening audience. With the permission of our organizers, permit me to bring this call to end.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye. Thank you so much. Have a great time on your end, and have a great weekend and Sunday. And we hope that the many young Africans who have been reasoning over the YouTube and who will also be able to get a catch of this will be able to get a transformation that we really are looking up to and see Africa getting better and better. So thank you so much, sirs, and our good ladies in absentia. We are grateful that this has been successful. We look forward to the next session over the last Saturday of this month.